Get ready.
All right. Is it on?
No.
On green. Green? Good? All right. All right. Well, thank everybody for being here. You guys could be anywhere on a Wednesday night, and instead you're here, and that speaks volumes for you. So give yourself a round of applause. Out in the back. Start off with give you guys a quick joke. You guys can either laugh with me or you can laugh at me either way. But what do you call it when Batman skips church? Christian Bale. I should have never told you first. So, all right, tonight we're going to be speaking on one topic in particular, and it's going to be faith. It's just been huge to me. I've been reading a lot lately in the book of Matthew, and it's the first book that has really just grabbed me, compelled me, held me. And there's just a couple of quick scriptures out of it that have really been just wowed me. So we're actually going to be Mark and Matthew. Hey, Wes? Mark 5:25. All right. So a woman in the crowd had suffered for 12 years with constant bleeding. She had suffered a great deal from many doctors, and over the years she had spent everything she had to pay for them, but she had gotten no better. In fact, she had gotten worse. She had heard about Jesus, so she came up behind him through the crowd and touched his robe. For she thought to herself, if I can just touch his robe, I will be healed. Immediately, the bleeding stopped, and she could feel in her body that she had been healed for her terrible condition. Jesus realized at once that healing power had gone out from him, so he turned around in the crowd and asked, "Who touched my robe?" His disciples said to him, "Look at this crowd pressing around you. How can you ask, 'Who touched me?'" But he kept on looking around to see who had done it. Then the frightened woman, trembling at the realization of what had happened to her, came and fell to her knees in front of him and told him what she had done. And he said to her, "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace. Your suffering is over." All right, and then this is confirmed again in Matthew 9:20-22. Just then a woman who had suffered for 12 years with constant bleeding came up behind him. She touched the fringe of his robe, for she thought, if I can just touch his robe, I will be healed. Jesus turned around, and when he saw her, he said, "Daughter, be encouraged. Your faith has made you well." And the woman was healed at that moment. So like I said, I selected these in particular because it's solely based on faith. This woman, she had obviously been struggling for 12 years, bleeding nonstop, spent every dime she had trying to heal herself with no luck. No doctor could heal her, no medicines could heal her, nothing could heal her. She just, like it says, she thought to herself, if I can just touch, actually, my version says, if I can just touch the hem of his robe, just the very bottom portion of his robe, I will be healed. And when she touched it, she was healed. But the really miraculous part to that one for me is that if you really read it, Jesus didn't do anything. Jesus didn't lay hands on her. Jesus didn't pray over her. Jesus didn't command her to be healed. Her faith solely healed her. She believed so strongly that if I could just touch his robe, I will be healed. It will happen. It was all in her faith. So like I said, I was really digging into the book of Matthew, and I was just curious about the word of faith. And then going off where Eric was Sunday, talking about worldly views and how worldly views are really taking over, I Googled faith, the definition of faith, and I should have put it up there, but according to Oxford Dictionary, ready for this one? Faith is either complete trust or confidence in someone or something, or a strong belief in God. Now, I don't know who wrote this, clearly doesn't know God, because he doesn't even know the world for that matter, because if that was the case, he would have never said have complete faith in a person, complete belief in a person, and a strong belief in God. Because me personally, I have complete belief in nobody, not even myself. It's pretty strong with my mechanic friend back there, though. He can fix just about anything, so my belief in him is pretty strong as far as fixing things goes. But no, I have complete faith in no man. I have complete faith in God, though. There's just nothing that he can't do. So to have strong faith in that is just blows my mind. Like I said, we're all human, we're all imperfect people. The definition just really blew my mind. It's a pretty simple reason you cannot have complete faith in any one person, because we're all sinners. If you don't think you're a sinner, please get with somebody, talk to them. I promise you, you are, I am, we all are. We all sin, we all continue to sin. Try hard not to sin. Who here tries hard not to sin? All right. But we all do. Anybody have a reason why they try not to sin? I see you nodding. Go ahead. What's your reason?
Be Christ-like in how God is.
There you go. Very good. It's kind of funny because somebody asked me the other day, it just happened to work out perfectly to line up with this for today. Somebody asked me the other day to pray for them. They're going through some drama. And I said, sure, I'll pray for you. So I pray for them, and we're going through it, and I'm like, now, why don't you pray? Oh, I don't pray because I live such a sinful life, and they do live a pretty sinful life. She was like, I don't pray because I live a sinful life, and I'm just afraid of what God would do to me. And I was like, afraid of what God would do to you? That's like for sinning? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, no. Like, your sins have all been forgiven, just like mine have been forgiven, just like everybody else has been forgiven. Like, you don't need to be afraid of what God's going to do you. Myself, like, I felt that way before too. I didn't start going to church until about 5 years ago. Part of that, the only time I ever went to the church was when I was in the Army, and that was to get out of duties on Sunday while everybody else was mopping floors and cleaning windows. I was at church, and I was like, woohoo, this is great. I can snooze through this for a couple hours, and I don't have to mop floors or anything like that. But today, I'm just in a different boat. Like, I choose to live as sin-free of life as possible, not for fear of what God will do to me, but more so for fear of what God won't do through me. I try to be as good of an example as I can. I have little ones that I hope to role model to and idolize to. I like being here with you guys, and even when I don't have the kids with me, I'm still here on Wednesdays and trying to see where the Lord has taken us and where the Lord can take you guys and where I can help contribute to that part. Like I said last Wednesday, my goal really is at this point right now is when I go to heaven, I really hope and pray that God says to me, because of you, Robert, these people are here. Whether that's one person, 3 people, 300 people, I don't know, but because of you, this person is here. That in itself is the reward. But it's great. I mean, it's a hunger. Anybody here hungry for God? I know you two are. We know you two are. Yeah, hunger is there, and then I was just really trying to figure out the difference between like filled and fulfilled. And I don't know. I hear people saying the other day, I see it on YouTube, somebody was talking about it, and it was like, oh, the Lord fulfills me, the Lord fulfills me, the Lord fulfills me. And I'm kind of at the opposite stance to that. Maybe it goes against the grain, but I don't want to be fulfilled, because fulfilled means like I'm stuffed, I'm content, I don't need any more. I'm happy with my walk with God. And I don't think you should ever be happy with your walk with God. I think that should be something that you continually strive to grow bigger and better with each passing day. And that's the thing, is that the world fulfills you. Social media fulfills you. Makes you happy with where you are, with what you got. Makes you content. I don't want to be content. The Word of God will make you full. And the joy of being full is you're full now, but you're hungry tomorrow. You're full tomorrow morning, but you're hungry again tomorrow night. So that's where I stand. I just want to be full, but never fulfilled. Oh. So faith, what is faith to me? Faith is when God gives you something you don't want, but trusting Him that it's what you need. I've had a crazy 2020. like everybody. I think we've all had a crazy 2020. Some of us have been fortunate enough to let our 2020s keep carrying over in 2021. But there's a part of me, a big part of me, that wouldn't trade it because it's got me where I am. And where I am is so much better than where I was. I don't ever really want to be where I was. I thought for the past 5 years, I thought I was a great Christian, doing great Christian things. I mean, I came to church on Sunday and I cooked on Wednesdays, and occasionally I'd open up the Bible and glance at something. But I thought like my walk with God was strong. I was content. I was fulfilled. But it's on such a different level now, and I find it growing every single day. My kids can testify. My one that's not here tonight in the car with her last Thursday, Dad, do you ever listen to anything but Air One? I'm like, no, I don't. Now I find myself more TBN, less TBS. More TBN, less TNT. More TBN, less Netflix, less Prime Video, less of all the stuff that really does nothing but fulfill me but doesn't fill me. Right now, The Chosen, guys, just so you know, if anybody hasn't seen The Chosen, it's on every Monday night at 8 o'clock. After it's over, they have another hour of a priest, a rabbi, and a pastor all sharing their perspectives of what's they watched in that episode. Has anybody here not seen The Chosen? You have not seen it? You guys are missing out. Season 2 is about to come out, but season 1 is phenomenal. Phenomenal. It's free on YouTube and a bunch of other things. It's phenomenal. So, as you can tell, I really wasn't sure if I was ready for this tonight. It's been, I don't know, it's just a lot to get up here and speak and talk about God and do things that everybody outside of these doors doesn't think is cool.
You're doing great.
Thank you. Whoever said it. It's a lot, but man, when God puts it on your heart, He doesn't ever come to you and check your appointment book to see if you're ready. He doesn't care whether you're ready, because when He says you're ready, you're ready. He doesn't look at His calendar, look at your calendar and say, I think, let's see if Robert or Kirsten or Eric or Charity, poor Charity has had plenty of messages just sprung on, hey, you're preaching today, by the way, plenty of times. So He doesn't care to see if you're ready. Ironically, neither does Satan. He doesn't care if you're ready. He loves to kick you when you're down. So keep that in mind. Faith isn't understanding what you're going through while you're going through it. Faith isn't even guaranteed that you're ever going to understand why you're going through what you're going through. But faith is trusting that what you're going through, you're not alone. God is in the middle of it with you. Doesn't matter what the season is, He's in the season. I hear it here too, believe it or not. But I hear it really on social media standpoints, and now that I'm working and there's customers and I overhear people talking, and it just really shocks me to see how many people talk faith when they're in here to each other and somebody's up here talking. They talk faith, but then when reality gets to it and they really start speaking, they really speak more about what Satan power he has over them than what God can do for them.
Yeah.
Or I hear people praying with this what if prayer mentality. Well, I'm praying that God delivers me a new car or a new job. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I keep praying, maybe one day. I just don't see it. Either pray with belief, pray with confidence, or you're really just doubting. Doubt is disbelief. There's no really other word for it. It's just simple disbelief. If you don't pray and believe that God can do it, I don't know that it's going to happen. You have to lose the, I hope, I think, we'll see. None of those are it. Fill your prayer with the same level of faith as the woman who said, if I could just touch his robe. That's faith. Doubt, as I was just talking about, is kind of Satan's favorite. And it took me a while to learn that, because just two months ago, if I'm being honest, I prayed like that. Oh God, I hope this happens. Oh God, please make this happen for me. Please, please. Oh God, you're never going to do this. Like, why? Why are you not doing this? Ironically, it worked out, again, perfectly. God loves to confirm things. He just loves it. The other day, I actually, going off subject for a second, but I was watching a music video by Lauren Daigle, and they said it was the official version, but then when I'm watching it, it's clips from a movie in the background for the whole video. And I'm like, watching the clips, and I'm compelled by the movie, and I'm like, I really want to watch this movie, but I don't know what this movie's called. So I commented on YouTube, and I'm like, does anybody know what this movie's called? Nobody replies. The very next day, I'm scrolling through my Facebook, and there's an advertisement for PureFlix. PureFlix, the advertisement, is the movie that I'm wanting to see. Huh?
Great, what we talking about?
Son of God was the one I was referring to, yes. So it was like just perfect confirmation. But anyways, now, had somebody call me the other day. I belong to a bunch of different Christian groups on Facebook, and I'm constantly posting things, whether it be testimonies, whether it be my own struggles, whether it be quotes, memes, scriptures, whatever. The other day I'm home and my phone rings, and it's a call on Facebook Video Messenger, and I didn't recognize the name, and I typically would have just declined it, but for some reason I answered it. I'm like, hello? And the guy's like, hey, you don't know me. Duh. But I saw your post on Facebook, and I was just really inspired, and I just felt that I needed to reach out to you for some support. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? So he's telling me his marriage is in crisis. So, okay, tell me what happened. He gives me the whole story of what's happened. And I say, okay, so how can I pray for you? So he tells me he wants to pray. And I'm like, okay, I could do that. I said, but you need to pray too. He said, oh, I've been praying. I said, how long have you been praying? He said, I've been praying for 2 weeks now. I said, okay, how long's your wife been gone? 2 weeks now. Okay. How long were you married? 7 years. Okay. How long has your marriage been in turmoil? 3 years. I'm like, so you want to turn to God, and you want to ask God in 2 weeks of prayer to undo what's been broken for 3 years. Not impossible. You can obviously do it in a millisecond, but you're not ready. And that's what she left. Aubrey was saying, and I think Jared was saying too. You're just not ready. You're not there yet. God needs to work on you individually long before he can work on anything else. But at the end of the conversation, after we're done praying, he thanks me, and he's like, okay, I have some questions. I was, okay, what's your questions? What if my wife doesn't come back? I couldn't even answer. The second I went to go answer, he goes, what if she files for divorce? I'm like, well, what if I keep, sitting here and I'm praying, and I should be doing this, and I'm not doing this, and I should be doing that, and what if she meets somebody else in that time? And I'm finally, after 6th or 7th, what if? I'm like, stop, I'm not even going to answer you, because the what ifs are doubt. If you're going to say, what if I do all this and it doesn't work, then I wasted my time praying, then your faith wasn't real. And if your faith wasn't real, what sort of expectations can you put on God if your faith is fake? So I was very clear with him that you need to take the what ifs and solve them for even ifs. Even if what I'm praying for doesn't happen, I'm going to praise you, God. And even if my wife doesn't come back, I'm going to trust in you, God. Even if. Because what if is doubt. And doubt is disbelief. And disbelief opens up a crack. And Satan loves the smallest cracks. He searches for them. He seeks them out. He exploits them. He's really good at it. So, lose the what ifs. If your faith is real, if your faith is genuine, it doesn't matter. Because, I'm going to come down here for a second. It doesn't matter what's happening over here. It doesn't matter what's happening in your marital life. It doesn't matter what's happening with your bills, with your automobiles, your children, finances. All of that doesn't matter. Because what's over here, no matter how big it is, it's not nearly as big as what's over here. Obviously, the cross representing God in this. Doesn't matter. The size of that can never be bigger than the size of that. God is always bigger. What I've learned in the past 6 weeks, maybe giving myself a little extra credit there, maybe 5 and some change, is that there's really 2 ways to handle things. There's 100 ways you can do it, but there's 2 ways you can do it as it pertains to God. You can do what most people, neither one of them are wrong. I've just found for myself inside, one is working much better for me. So when my problems come and my vehicles break down, and my vehicles break down, right, James, all the time, and my children don't want to come on their weekend, and my bills are exceeding my income, and worldly things hit. I have 2 choices. I can do what most people do, and what I've always done. I can come over here and I say, God, please, I need your help. It's me again. Lord, I pray right now that you help me with this. My vehicle's broke down, and I need to get to work, and my children don't want to come, Father, and I pray that you soften their hearts that they want to come, and they want to experience God with me, and they want to come to church with me. And Father, I pray you this, I pray you can do all that. And that's not wrong. We all do it. It's right. It's great. For me, though, what I've been found has been way more filling is to come over here and say, I know my truck's broke down, but I trust God has a plan. Yeah. And I know my kids don't want to come to church with me, but I trust that God's softening their heart. And I know that right now finances are exceeding income, but I trust in you to find a way to make it work. And it's constantly found a way to make it work. Amen. Every time. Testimony for my buddy back there again, but Black Friday, I am out Christmas shopping, doing all the woo stuff, and I go to get into Target Plaza, and my truck makes a funky noise, and I'm like, what is going on? Blowing smoke everywhere, and I start heading to my buddy's shop, and I barely make it, and he's not there. So I take an Uber home, I take an Uber back the next day, and he's like, oh, I know what's wrong. Your turbo went bad. I'm like, oh, where in the world am I going to get another turbo? He's like, hey, I have one on my desk out there. So some people could say, knowing the right person, and I say, God was moving. A month later, truck's broken down again. My truck likes to break down. It's you can count on it, for sure. Truck likes to break down. A month later, I have it at his shop again. And at this point, my company's closed. COVID has shut me down. No money's coming in and plenty of money is going out. And I'm trusting in God, but I'm not where I am now, then. I'm talking to my mom on the phone, and I'm like, hey, this is what's going on, and I'm just venting. And Mom's like, listen, I'll send you $1,000. See if you can find a car for $1,000. And I'm telling him, I'm like, my mom's gonna send me $1,000. Like, where in the world am I gonna find a car for $1,000? So you're not gonna get anything halfway decent for $1,000. What would you say? 30 minutes later? That day, James?
You found a car on Facebook.
Would you say 30 minutes later though?
That's something.
Literally about 30 minutes later, I'm working on my truck and I'm frustrated and I'm ready to just like push it out into the middle of Towson. And I'm scrolling Facebook and, hey, I have this Toyota Camry, a Corolla, or what, I don't even know what I have, Corolla? Corolla, $1,000, buddy of mine. So I call him and I'm like, hey, you got that Corolla? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm coming to look at it. Get down there, I look at it, blah, blah, we haggle, anyways, make long story short, $700. But that was really God showing me, like, you want to doubt? Here, let me take your doubt away. Let me show you who I really am and how great I really am. Because I didn't pray with confidence. I don't even know that I prayed. I was kind of more like, $1,000 car? Really? Where am I going to find that? And God was like, okay, here, let me give you a little taste of what I can do. And by the grace of God, it's been a great little car that gets phenomenal fuel mileage, and I like it. Where are we? Matthew 17:20. We're kind of cooking through this pretty good. In 17:20, Jesus himself says, you don't have enough faith. I tell you the truth, if you had faith even as small as a mustard seed, you could say to this mountain, move from here. See if I can open this without spilling all over the floor. Move from here to there, and it would move. Nothing would be impossible. That's so true. Anybody actually seen? It's all right, I know a guy that sells rainbow vacuums. We'll be good. Has anybody actually seen a mustard seed? That nobody can see right now is a mustard seed. Faith that I didn't just fall off these stairs. Faith that size can move a mountain from here to there. I cannot imagine how much faith she had. And she believed that all I have to do is touch his robe and I will be healed. Just faith, and just really faith. It's been so big for me lately is faith. I will trust in you. I will trust in you no matter what. Faith isn't, and I do it all the time. I do it. I'm guilty, and I know. If you can say you're not guilty of what I'm going to say next, raise your hand. I don't think one person will raise their hand. Have you ever prayed and asked God to get you out of a bad situation? Has anybody not prayed for that before? No, I didn't think so. Faith isn't asking God to get you out of a bad situation. Not at all. It's knowing that God is in the situation with you. And that's all that matters. Because if he is for you, who could be against you, right? Doesn't matter what battle you're in right now. We're all in battles. I know I'm still in battles all the time. The great thing about battles is nothing lasts forever. Except for eternity in heaven. Nothing lasts forever. No battle lasts forever. What comes after a battle, though? The blessing. And that's really been a focal point for me lately, is that knowing that each day that I battle, whatever it is I'm battling, is one day closer to the blessing that God has planned for me. And maybe the blessing is this moment right here. I don't know. I don't know what the blessing is. The blessing is whatever you make it out to be. You can seek a blessing in everything, in anything, if you look hard enough. Have the faith to persevere through the battle, knowing that you're always just one day closer to a blessing. I can't put any of the youth on here, so Elizabeth and Dylan, can you help me out, buddy? Can you come grab each of you half the envelopes, half the pencils, and half the index cards, and then pass one of each out to everybody? I want everybody, preferably everybody, on one side of the index card, I want you to Pray for a need, or write down a need that you have. On the other side of the index card, I want you to write down a need that you have for somebody else. I want you to put it in the envelope, and I'm going to come back around with a mustard seed, or a thing of mustard seeds. I want you to put it in the envelope. I want you to put a mustard seed in with it. Seal the envelope. On the outside of the envelope, I want you to write yes or no. If you write yes on your envelope, I'm going to open it up. I'm going to read the prayer request, and I'm going to pray over each and every envelope that you write yes on. If you write no on your envelope, I'm going to put them in a big pile, and I'm going to put a general prayer over that pile of envelopes, that whatever it is that you're seeking from the Lord, that it's already done.
Wait, so what do we write on both sides?
One side, write a prayer need for yourself.
Okay.
On the other side, a prayer need for someone else.
What does that mean necessarily? Like,
I pray for me. I pray that the Lord continues to strengthen me and continues to grow my discernment. I pray that I get accepted to a good college. I pray that whatever it is, something for you specifically. Okay? On the other side, I want you to write a prayer for someone else. Someone else. Yes? Oh, hold on. I have to come to you. Yeah. Just, you will probably struggle to pull just one out. So just, or actually, you know what? Give them a couple minutes. Let them.
Josh.
Everybody got one? You going for yourself? Please put the seeds inside your envelope. If you drop your seed, don't be afraid. Ask for another one. I'm doing it this way for a reason, even though John kind of prophetically saw that I was going to need index cards and pass stuff out and get it on Sunday just to kind of be one step ahead. Charity earlier asked anybody that had need to come up to the front and let us pray over you. And I know how intimidating that can be. It's not always easy, especially when no one else is going up, to take that leap of faith and step out and be the first one and say, Lord, I need you. I need your help. I know how hard that can be. This way, it's anonymous. You don't have to put your name on it. If you want to put your name on it, put your name on it, great. But you don't have to. But the leap of faith is still there.
Wait, what was it again?
One side, you're going to write a prayer for yourself specifically, for you. On the other side, you're going to write a prayer specifically for someone else, anyone else. Doesn't matter what it is. On the envelope, once you seal it up with your mustard seed, you have a seed, Dylan? Okay, she's got the seeds right there. She'll come to you. Write yes or no on your envelope. If you write yes, I will open it later and I'm going to pray over the needs of every single index card. If you write no on it, I'm going to put the envelopes in a pile, leave them sealed, and I'm going to pray over them in general. And just leave the envelopes on the chair closest to the aisleway, and I'll pick them all up when it's done. Oh. If anybody has a slip and fall over here, it's Elizabeth's fault. It's okay, just Everybody done? Close? Oh, I still see good right? Okay.
Your truck's in with a Ford.
Yes. Good guess. James, you better not be praying. I pray Robert doesn't bring me any more stuff to fix. Cherry, can you just pick that around and pick up everybody's envelopes? Thank you. Elizabeth, you don't have to pick up every little seed. It's okay. We're spreading faith. We're spreading faith.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Spread the faith. It's okay. Charity's coming around to pick up everybody's envelope if you're done. We good? All right. I'm going to wrap up with one last little thing. Like I talked about, I've been watching The Chosen again. It's my third time watching the series now. And last night I was watching it. It's at the scene where everybody knows the story of Simon as he's fishing. Simon's in debt to the Romans. The Romans are taxing very heavily, taxing them. So Simon owes a good chunk of money. So Simon decides he's going to sneak out on the night of the Sabbath and he's going to go fishing. And his goal is to catch enough fish to be able to pay his debt before it's due the next day. He fishes all night, all morning, catches absolutely nothing. He brings his boat to shore. As he's rowing to shore, he sees men on the beach and he thinks it's the Romans already there waiting for him. In actuality, it's Jesus there and he's teaching. He pulls up to the shore and he's putting away his nets. And Jesus says, "Hey, these people are having a hard time hearing me. Can I stand up on your boat to speak to them?" And Simon said, "Sure, whatever you want, buddy." Jesus gets up there, he starts speaking. He says, "That's enough for the class today." He turns to Simon and he says, "Simon, I need you to do me a favor." Simon's like, "What's that?" He's like, "I want you to drop your nets right here." Now, he's been out in the ocean, fishing, nothing. Now he's on the docks. The water's this deep. Everybody looking? Water's this deep. He tells Jesus, "What's the point? Been out fishing all day, I've caught nothing." Jesus says, "Just throw the nets in the water." Throws the nets in the water. A couple seconds pass, he looks at Jesus in the showing. He looks at Jesus and he's like, and Jesus is like, boom! They're full. Simon starts yelling. People come running. They fill the boat up. Simon jumps off the boat immediately, falls to his knees in front of Jesus. He says, "You are the Messiah." Jesus says, "I am." He says, "Don't look at me. Don't look at me. I'm not worthy. I'm a dirty sinner." Jesus says, "Stand up. Come with me. You are a fisherman, and I'll teach you how to be a fisher of men." Simon doesn't hesitate at all. He doesn't go home and ask his wife. He doesn't pray on it, doesn't think about it, doesn't check his calendar. He goes. All throughout the Bible, Simon witnesses a multitude of miracles that Jesus performs. From blind men seeing, paralyzed people walking, lady that's been bleeding for 12 years, he witnesses it all. This is the very same person who later becomes Peter. This is the very same person who denies Jesus 3 times out of fear. As he watches them persecute Jesus and decide that his punishment is death, he's standing there, he's watching. I think, was it Joey talking on this last Sunday? Oh, Eric was, I'm sorry. He's standing there watching, and people are like, hey, I know you, you were with him. No, not me. I don't know that guy. He goes over here, I'm gonna hide over here, gets in this crowd, and the crowd looks, hey, he's with him. He's part of him. No, I'm not. Never seen that guy before. Never heard of him. Happens a third time. The third time it happens, Jesus looks right at him. So I said all that just to say that fear, if you can witness all of Jesus' miracles, walk alongside Jesus and witness all of those miracles and still deny him out of fear, you have to be careful. You have to have your faith strong. Do not let fear come in and steal your faith, because that is exactly what it wants you to do.
Yeah.
That's it. You guys are free.
Amen, amen. How many of you guys appreciate Robert coming and sharing his heart? You know, Robert, I was telling Charity as we sat there and was kind of knocking